Hi everyone, you reached Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all of you out there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. Hit the like button, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. And share my video with your friends and family so that they can come to my channel and get to know me also. I'm here today with a video on Eboni K. Williams. Eboni K. Williams from The Real Housewives of New York. She joined the cast last season as the first African American, the first brown girl to join the cast of The Real Housewives of New York. Prior to that, they never had anyone of color. So she joined the cast, and unfortunately for her, when she joined the cast, it was in the midst of the heat of COVID. So the ladies really didn't have an opportunity to go to many places because of all the COVID restrictions. And also there were some other popular castmates that have left the show. So Dorinda left the show, or was fired, however you want to put it, and Tinsley was no longer on the show. In my opinion, because I did watch, I don't know, do a mixture of both, The Real Housewives of New York. Dorinda, her little outbursts, her quirky little sayings, and Tinsley were some of the reasons I think that a lot of people did watch. So this past season, The Real Housewives of New York show, the ratings tanked. It was in the gutter. It was at an all-time low. So Luann, who is a Real Housewife, a New York castmate, Ramona and Leah, I guess they were all pissed that this particular past season, the ratings tanked, and they're putting the whole situation on Eboni's back. So they're blaming these decline in ratings on Eboni, and so they're pissed at her because I guess they're feeling like, she's risking their paycheck. In addition to the ratings tanking, it was so bad to the point where Bravo decided not to have a reunion, and I think that ticked the ladies off even more because they made Housewives history by being the first franchise, one out of the franchise that did not have a reunion. So they didn't even give them a reunion because they thought, one, it wasn't going to be worth it because no one was into their storylines during the season. So they figured, and usually reunions are for the housewives to kind of hash it out and come to some type of resolution. But being that they didn't have any storylines and nobody watched, it was nothing for them to hash out and make up about. So they didn't even waste their time doing a reunion, which is dreadful. So you have these three ladies, Ramona, Luann, and Leah, who were pissed at Eboni, and that's why we're here to talk about. So there is this, I guess, I don't know if he's still a producer, or ex-producer, but a producer for the Housewives shows. And he wrote a tell-all book, okay, the inside story of the lives of the Real Housewives as told by them. And his book is called, what is that book called? Not All Diamonds and Roses. And so it's telling, the behind the scenes stories, so to speak. And so he wrote this book and recently had a launch party to, celebrate his book being published and being put out there. So at this party, naturally, since the book is telling the inside lives of the housewives, a lot of the housewives were there. And apparently, allegedly, behind the scenes, Leah, Ramona, and Luann from The Real Housewives of New York decided that they were at the party, but they decided that once Eboni arrived, they were going to exit the building. And, they made this pact. I guess they want to make it clear to Eboni, like, we're pissed, we don't like you, we're still not talking to you, to the point where we're at a party and he's a grown woman. You're at a party, and to hurt her, you're going to leave the party when she's arrived. Well, let's stay there for 1 minute. First of all, the level of stupidity behind that, as grown adults, you're going to leave a party just because somebody you like is coming and you think it's going to hurt her? Well, she got to stay at the party and not be uncomfortable because y'all were there. So that was just stupid in and of itself. So they said that Eboni stayed at the party, she had a ball, and she wasn't bothered by the fact that these young ladies are shading her, icing her out, and acting crazy and blaming her for the failure of the season. All of it is on her back. First of all, if they had interesting storylines, no matter what Eboni would have did this season, the show would have got the ratings. So they're partly responsible also. But they're blaming it on her mainly too, because similar to like Garcelle at the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, they're saying all because of her, all of a sudden, all of the conversations turned into race-related conversations. And because of that, they feel that nobody wanted to tune in. And that's why the ratings tanked. But if that's the case, over at the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, those ladies had to have some race conversations as a result of Garcelle being part of the group. But their ratings didn't take. And matter of fact, they soared. So ladies, y'all have a responsibility. When I say ladies, to the ones at the Real Housewives of New York, y'all have some level of responsibility too for your storyline. So shame on you for coming on down on Eboni like that. So Garcelle over at the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she felt like she had problems with the ladies in Beverly Hills. She felt like an outsider. She never felt like they wanted to include her. She felt like some of these people didn't have her back in different situations where, you know, people were coming after her and she was being talked about. And, you know, she thinks she has problems. Well, she better speak to Eboni, because Eboni has worse problems than Garcelle. So the grass is not always greener on the other side. So Garcelle, like I said, she felt like the people at the castmates at the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was coming after her, but yet at least Lisa Rinna is a mess, threw her party. Okay, so and they afterwards, I say the after show, because this is Eboni's getting this hate, so to speak, and the season is over. So at least for the after show with Garcelle, the relationships afterwards, Garcelle was at Kathy Hilton's daughter bridal shower, Paris Hilton. So that just tells you right there that they do like her and they're trying to include her. And maybe it's not every castmate, but I don't care what the situation is. Even if it's outside of a reality show and you have a group of 10 people, it's very rare that everyone in that group of 10 is so tight and so close and they all get along. Normally, and you know, and unfortunately maybe in that group of 10, you have pockets of people that get along, but normally it's not all of them that get along. So it's, you know, it's kind of messy. So what do I have to say to Eboni, and what do I think about these ladies over at the Real Housewives of New York? One, I think that another part of the reason why their ratings tanked is because Dorinda left, and so did Tinsley. And Dorinda, as messy as she was and as quirky as she was, she gave a lot of good reality TV with her outbursts and how she would just come up with these crazy sayings and how she would just, you know, get all in her feelings for no reason at different situations. And I think a lot of people didn't like the fact that when they didn't bring Dorinda back for this season, that just happened. And then in regards to Tinsley left on her own. And although Tinsley kind of lived in her own little world and like this bubble, I used to, when I watched it, I was like, you know, Tinsley lives in Tinsley's world. But I think the interaction between Tinsley and her mom, it just worked for reality TV. I mean, I love them together. I love Tinsley. I love her dolls. I love the fact that she was just, you know, a girl looking for love and wanting to be loved and wanted to get married and have children. And when she met her mate that she thought was going to be, well, they did get engaged, but, it since has been broken off. But when she met him, it was like the fairy tale was going to happen and she was going to live happily ever after. And that's why we got introduced to Leah. And at first I like Leah, but now I'm thinking the way that she's giving Eboni the cold shoulder, I'm like, wow, whoa, and really. So guys, let me know your thoughts about how they seem to be icing out Eboni, and also how they feel that a whole show, the ratings went in the gutter because of one person. I mean, really? Chat with me in the comments. Let me know how you feel about the situation. And when I get an opportunity, I will chat back, and I'll see you in the next video.